Hello, and welcome to the video on the vocation of marriage. My name is Christine, and I've been married to John for 40 years. Marriage is a sacrament instituted or created by God, celebrated by the Church, and administered by the man and woman themselves. During the marriage ceremony in a Catholic church, the man and woman enter into a covenant with each other, promising themselves to each other until death. The Catechism of the Catholic Church explains that the vocation to marriage is written in the very nature of man and woman, as they came from the hand of the Creator. This means marriage is a natural state for every person, although some are called to give that state up for vocations to religious or consecrated life, such as the priesthood or consecrated virginity. And as with all the vocations, marriage is a pathway to holiness and happiness. Jesus tells us that the greatest commandments are to love God and to love our neighbor. And as a married person, our closest and most important neighbor is our spouse. Marriage sanctifies the individual called to this particular vocation. We can become great saints by being great spouses. As we grow in our love for God, we grow in our love for our spouse. In this way, God is like the third person in a marriage. Venerable Fulton Sheen says, "It takes 3 to make love, not 2, you, your spouse, and God." Holy marriage, therefore, is a covenantal union between a man and a woman, blessed by God and sustained by God when we continue to invite Him into our marriage. In a beautiful way, marriage reflects the union of the 3 persons of God, Father, Son, and the fruit of their love, the Holy Spirit. It also reflects Christ's covenantal union with the Church, His love for His bride, the Church, a love that is free, faithful, fruitful, and forever. St. John Chrysostom says, "When a husband and wife are united in marriage, they no longer seem like something earthly, but rather like the image of God Himself."
Hi, my name is Josephine, and I've been married to Michael for 20 years. As Christine explained, marriage is a sacrament a man and woman confer on each other. By prioritizing each other in every way, a husband and wife work together to sanctify each other, basically get each other to heaven. Furthermore, their love for each other is uniquely expressed in their openness to biological children. The Church teaches that children are the supreme gift of marriage. In its fullness, the Catechism explains, marriage is by nature ordered toward the good of the spouses and the procreation of offspring. Children born of the love between a husband and wife mirrors the love of the Trinity and grows God's love in the world. As married couples, we participate in God's creative nature. We co-create with Him in conceiving other human beings. And we are asked to be generous in our openness to children. It must be said that not every couple is able to have children, and some have lost children. This reality is a profound grief that no platitude can alleviate. But it's vitally important to state that infertility and loss are not punishments from God or a sign of His lack of blessing upon us. They are instead a fact of the brokenness of this world and the imperfection of nature. However, those of us who suffer infertility or loss are still designed and called in love to bring life to children, and we can do that in different ways, as godparents, aunts, uncles, spiritual mothers or fathers, or parents who adopt. We wish to express our solidarity with all couples who carry the cross of infertility or loss. In general, holy marriage and our mutual striving to be great wives and husbands support the Church in tangible and in intangible ways. The love we express for our spouses, the fruitfulness of our marriage through children, and the joy we have in our relationship with God witness to the world the goodness of the Lord.
Hello, my name is John, and I've been married to Christine for 40 years, and together we've raised 6 children. We are currently blessed with 8 grandchildren. As with all the vocations, marriage, as Christine said, is a pathway to holiness. Holiness, generally speaking, means living our lives in alignment with God's will. Working in collaboration with God brings peace, joy, and goodness. But it does not make us immune to suffering. And marrying the person we love does not mean we will not have crosses to bear within our marriage. Sometimes the person who made us happy before marriage can cause us pain after the wedding day. Now, this reality does not mean that we married the wrong person or that our marriage is seriously broken. It does mean that you have married not an angel, but a human being needing Jesus as much as you do. Venerable Fulton Sheen says, "Without God, people only succeed in bringing out the worst in one another. Lovers who have nothing else to do but love each other soon find that there is nothing else. Without a central loyalty, life is unfinished." Now, what this means is every marriage needs God's mercy and grace because we cannot fulfill our vocation well without Him. While we can't troubleshoot in this video all the marital issues and problems that might arise, we do want to encourage you not to fear marriage because you might have been raised in a broken family yourself, or seen your peers' parents fall apart, or read statistics about the divorce rate in Canada. Marriages require support through consistent prayer, frequent use of the sacraments of confession and Eucharist, sometimes counseling, and finding other Christian and Catholic couples who can journey with you and your spouse throughout your married life.
Hi, my name's Michael, and Josephine and I are currently raising 6 holy souls, ranging from 7 to 18 years old. Holy marriage is forever. The reason the Church states that marriage lasts until death is that marriage, given to us by God, is covenantal. A legal contract is an exchange of goods, and a contract can change and even be broken, with legal consequences. A contract is man-made. But a covenant is an exchange of persons. One person promises oneself to another in a covenant. Our commitment to our spouse is tied to God's own eternal faithfulness, exemplified and consummated in the suffering, crucifixion, and death of Jesus Christ, where He gave Himself up completely in order to redeem us. Similarly, a husband and wife are called to lay down their lives for each other each day, this to conquer selfishness, pride, laziness, anger, the need for control. In marriage, we also prioritize our spouse above all other relationships and commitments. We must be faithful to them sexually, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And we can live this saintly, heroic life only with Christ. Pope Francis said, "The love of Christ can restore to spouses the joy of journeying together." This is what marriage is all about, man and woman walking together, wherein the husband helps his wife to become ever more a woman, and wherein the woman has the task of helping her husband to become ever more a man. When God created man, Adam, He knew that He had created him with a need for a companion that would complement him, give him purpose, and push him towards greatness. This companion was a woman, Eve, the first wife, and Adam saw in her bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. He recognized through his and Eve's very bodies that the deep desire for communion that he longed for could be realized in his union with Eve. Even when they had their first falling out, pun intended, Adam and Eve were not separated. They left the Garden of Eden together. They struggled together, sought forgiveness together, raised a family together, and are now together in heaven, always with God at the center of their lives.
Now that you have some understanding of what holy marriage is, we'd like to suggest some ways that can help you understand what it means to discern marriage. When a man or woman answers God's call to religious or consecrated life, it isn't because they were not made for marriage. Instead, they are giving up the married state for something special that God has invited them into. Otherwise, every person can be married because marriage, as stated earlier, is written into the nature of every person. So you might think of the discerning of marriage more specifically as your discernment of whom to marry.
You were designed for relationship, so of course you are looking for someone to share your life with. But how to begin? First, pray. Ask God to help you choose your spouse well. You can also pray for your spouse, even if you have not met him or her yet. You would also do well to start thinking about what you desire in a spouse. What qualities attract you? What values do you hold dear? What personalities fit with your own? What are your expectations of a spouse? Seek the advice of people you trust. Your parents, perhaps, a good friend, maybe a married couple you admire, and ask them to pray for you.
Although the world's idea of dating is not in keeping with God's plan for men and women, you're going to have to meet people in order to meet people. Therefore, choose groups, locations, events where you can be somewhat confident that the individuals there complement your life.
Meanwhile, pursue your primary relationship. That is your relationship with God. Spend a lot of time with Him. Ask Him to heal wounds in your heart, to deepen your faith and trust in Him, to weed out sinful habits, and to lead you into virtue. Go to confession regularly. Attend Mass on Sundays, and more often if you can. Spend time in adoration. Develop a prayer life if you don't already have one. You can prepare yourself for marriage while you seek the man or woman who will one day enter into a lifelong covenant with you. Turning your life over to God during this time of your life will bring you clarity and peace and help you grow in holiness. And this will greatly benefit your marriage.
We are praying for you. Whatever vocation you are discerning, the Lord has a plan for you, one that will bring you joy. You can be confident of that.